privilege to have the Foreign Secretary with us this morning, watching that report with me from Dominic. Thoughts this morning? Good morning.
Kay, good morning. Well, look, you've seen their reports of what has been an unprecedented terror attack perpetrated by Hamas into southern Israel, targeting children, old people, civilians. What we know is large-scale, indiscriminate killings. We know many hundreds of Israelis were killed in that attack, thousands injured. And that is why the UK, along with a number of our close friends and allies around the world, have given our unequivocal condemnation of Hamas's actions and our support to Israel in their time of need.
What news on the Brits? Well,
one of the features of Israel is that there are a large number of Anglo-Israeli dual nationals, and a number of them will regard Israel as their permanent home. A number of them will be serving with the Israeli Defence Forces. We keep in close coordination with the Israeli government. I've spoken with the Foreign Minister and I've met the Israeli ambassador. We will, of course, maintain our duty to support British nationals in Israel. We are ensuring that we work with the air industry to keep flights in and out of Israel so people who want to leave are able to, and we'll coordinate closely with the Israeli government about those British Israeli dual nationals who are seeking to stay in Israel.
What about the protests on the streets of London last night, burning Israeli flag, a 70-year-old arrested, we're told, by the Metropolitan Police for racial slurs. Your thoughts on that?
Well, the Home Secretary has been absolutely firm on this. Whilst we completely respect the right for peaceful protest, Hamas is a proscribed terrorist organisation, and therefore it is an offence to fly their banners and to
but not the Palestinian flag, obviously.
Not the Palestinian flag, that's a very different issue, but the Hamas flag. And of course, what we want to see is all communities, including the Jewish communities in the UK, feel safe and secure. So intimidatory behaviour, the actions which would cause that kind of distress, completely inappropriate. And the Home Secretary has been really firm on this, as have the Prime Minister and the rest of the government.
Your colleague yesterday, who was out here, Communities Minister, said these people should stay at home. What would you say?
Well, there is no need, there is no necessity for people to come out. It causes distress. So there is no need for this.
At home?
So I would suggest that they do. There is no requirement for this. This is a difficult and delicate situation, and increasing fear, and these protests, be under no illusion, are causing a huge amount of distress for people in the Jewish community in the UK, who have often been at the receiving end of prejudice and threats of violence. There is no need for this at all, and I would encourage them just to pause. This is a delicate and difficult situation, and this isn't helping.
What about your opposite number, David Lammy, sharing a platform with the Palestinian ambassador, who basically said the Israelis had it coming?
Well, those comments, the idea that somehow the
would you share a platform with him?
No, I wouldn't. I've met with him, I speak with him. Maintaining diplomatic relations is important. But the point that I've made, and I've made this directly to representatives of the Palestinian Authority, and it's worth remembering, of course, the Palestinian Authority on the West Bank is a separate organisation to Hamas in Gaza. So it's important we recognise that. But I have said that that Palestinian voices, particularly those in leadership positions, should criticise the appalling behaviour, the atrocious actions that have been perpetrated by Hamas, these indiscriminate killings, these murders, these kidnaps, these terrorist actions, should be condemned by the leadership of the Palestinian Authority, because otherwise there will be this perception that all Palestinians support Hamas, and they don't, and that all Palestinians support this action, and I know that they don't.
And what support does the British government offer to the people of Gaza. I note both you and the Prime Minister have tweeted your support for Israel several times over the last 24 hours. Nothing about those that are suffering in Gaza.
Well, we are working with the international community, the countries in the region, to try and minimise the risk of escalation. We don't want this spreading. I have spoken with the Egyptian Foreign Minister, and of course the Rafah crossing, which is the land crossing from Gaza into Israel, is open. So there is the opportunity for people to leave Gaza into Egypt. We will continue talking with the Egyptian authorities about maintaining that crossing. I mean, ultimately, the point that we're seeing is that Israel have come under attack from Hamas. They do have a legitimate right to a proportionate response to try and secure their borders, to try and prevent further atrocities like this, and we support them in that action.
I understand that, but it's not quite answering my question. You could take this opportunity, I suppose, to offer public support to those people in Gaza that are basically under siege at the moment. No water, no electricity,
hang on.
no food.
I think that implicit in your question, there's this idea that somehow, if we say something about one country, we have to say something about their neighbour.
All human beings.
Yes, I know that, absolutely, but the truth is that the reason we express such solidarity with the people of Israel is because terrorist
And that's not the fault of the people in Gaza.
Terrorists took action to murder, to kidnap, and we're now seeing reports that they are threatening to publicly execute people that they have kidnapped. The idea that somehow there is an equivalence, there is a kind of a balancing act between the actions of the Israeli government in their self-defence and the actions of Hamas in their terrorist
Didn't say that.
is completely inappropriate. I wouldn't want to do anything which would imply that to be the case.
Not saying that at all, Foreign Secretary.
Of course, we want to see the minimisation of loss of life. And we know that Hamas hides itself, it embeds itself.
But what about the people in Gaza who have no food, no electricity, no water? Do you have a word for them?
Well, of course, we want to make sure that we want to minimise the loss of human life. And the best way of doing that is for Israel to prevent Hamas from perpetrating terrorist activities like we've seen over the last few days.
OK. You spoke, I think, just last month about hopes of a two-state solution. The quote will be on the screen, and you said that you hope that that would happen in the fullness of time. That's not going to happen for a generation now, is it?
Well, the sad truth is that the actions that Hamas have taken have set back the Palestinian cause enormously. Hamas is no friend of the Palestinian people. And, you know, I was recently in the West Bank. I've spoken to Palestinian people. I do regularly. Hamas are no friend of the Palestinian people. The actions that they have taken have set back the Palestinian cause enormously. And I would urge the Palestinian people to reflect on that and to reject Hamas and its violence. So sadly, you are right that the actions have set back the prospect of a two-state solution.
Dead in the water?
I'm not going to be despondent. I'm not going to be fatalistic. It is still something worth working towards. And ultimately, what we want to see, and I know the Israelis want to see this as well, as do many of the Palestinians that I speak to. They want to see a peaceful resolution so that Israelis of whatever faith, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, are able to live in peace and security and prosperity with the Palestinian people as well.
Foreign Secretary, I must let you go. A busy day ahead for you. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.